wanted to be really close with my siblings. You know, I was a huge daddy's girl and all this other stuff. And when I had some events happen in my family and there were just some things that had came out, I didn't know how to handle it. You know, I had this expectation of how they would respond, and I had this expectation of how they should respond. And when they didn't, you know, that broke me.
Yeah.
So like we've talked about how, you know, I had a suicide attempt in 2019, and fortunately for me, my ex was there and kind of like in the midst of it, kind of intervened. But what led to it, you know, now that I think about it, and I think a little bit more like growth and maturity is kind of evolved. You know, it wasn't the event that caused my attempt.
Mm-hmm.
It was my mindset and my inability to let go of my expectations of other people.
Yeah.
And so that was literally like, could have been a breaking, not just like a breaking point, but an actual like death point, like an end point.
That's it. Like it's completely done and severed. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of one of the things that, you know, I want to talk about embracing change, like not just talk about, you know, the external environments and things like that, but, you know, there are also sometimes too where internally your mindset, your mentality, your expectations of other people, your perceptions of other people, like those things have had to change.
Yeah.
And I know for me, since then, I've gotten to a point where, and you know this, you know how this goes too, like with sobriety, you have to do a lot of internal work with these things that have really ticked you off and made you super, super resentful and whatnot. And you have to, you know, identify, because you can't control other people as much as we want to at times. I think everybody wants to control a situation. You know, it talks about being the director, and the more you try to direct, and then you're just mad because everybody's not doing what they're supposed to do the way that you're wanting them to do it. But for me, when I hit that breaking point, I didn't realize it was going to take years. So I went through years of therapy. And I mean, it wasn't until over a year later that I ended up getting sober and doing the sobriety thing. So I mean, it took years of therapy and going through like a sobriety program where, you know, I realized that it was my perceptions and my expectations and